This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, a quartet of 100-year-old cars is taking the long way to Timaru to take part in a vintage car rally. Wet weather didn't deter several hundred Dunedinites from marching in the central city, making a statement about suicide. And crowds filled a Dunedin school hall at the weekend to examine rocks and minerals from all over the world. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Simon Anderson. When taking a 100-year-old car to Timaru, it's best to take the back roads and avoid State Highway 1. As organisers of a car rally say, it'd be quite scary to drive vehicles of that age at 100 kilometres an hour.
They'll do 500 miles and then they'll do 500 more.
We're running a veteran car rally. It's the Prince Henry Tour, and it's going to lead us from Dunedin up to Timaru. And there we're going to do 2 days of motoring, the National Veteran Rally.
4 vehicles, which are all at least 100 years old, recently left Dunedin heading for Timaru on one rally and then on to another. Prince Henry Rally organiser Nevin Goff says the car he's driving has an interesting recent history.
I got it in 2005, had been restored for a brewery in Canterbury, I believe, as a promotional vehicle. But I think there was some difficulties with people trying to drive a Ford T. They're a little bit different than the usual car.
The 4 pre-1919 vehicles left from Ross Home in Dunedin, taking the inland route through Twizel, bound for Timaru. This year the rally hosted 2 Model T Fords from 1918 and 1917, a 1915 Dodge and a 1914 Sunbeam. Goff says at one time the Model T was as common as muck, but now not so much.
Back in the day, every second car was a Ford Model T, so it's kind of interesting there's 2 Model Ts out of 4 cars here today. The
Model T has a maximum cruising speed of 70 kilometres an hour and only 2 gears. Goff says they're not exactly economical. The Mosgiel-based enthusiast had this Model T Ford sign written in honour of his grandfather.
So my grandfather started Goff's Garage back in about 1922, so he had a lot of Ford Model Ts, and my father was a mechanic there, so it just seemed the thing to do to sign write this van, Goff's Garage.
He says they're hoping for warmer weather as the Model T isn't exactly insulated. From Timaru, the cars are set to spend 2 more days on the National Veteran Rally before being transported home, mostly on trailers. In Dunedin, The South Today.
An international space tracking facility built in Naseby is being hailed as a next-generation world first. The Leo Labs Kiwi Space Radar is set to be the first in the world to track space debris between 2 and 10 centimetres. The facility, to be officially opened tomorrow, will track an estimated 250,000 currently untracked objects in low Earth orbit. Those objects account for most of the collision risk in space. The Naseby radar will be one of only 3 operating in the world and the first in the Southern Hemisphere. Wet weather didn't deter several hundred Dunedinites from marching in the central city to make a statement about suicide on Saturday. The annual Hope Walk is coordinated by the Life Matters Suicide Prevention Trust, aiming to boost awareness of suicide issues.
Marching in vibrant yellow as a symbol of hope on World Suicide Awareness Day.
Kia kaha, look after one another. Kia ora.
Dunedin's event was organised by the Life Matters Suicide Prevention Trust, who are pleased with the number of people who took part.
It went really well. I was very surprised to see the amount of people that turned up, because as you know, the weather was pretty inclement. It was cold, it was wet, and it drizzled the whole time. But it was amazing to see all the people turn up with their umbrellas and yellow umbrellas, all dressed in yellow.
The organisation is a registered charity which aims to reassure people who face mental health issues that they're not alone. Robert Griffiths is a peer supporter with Life Matters and says just talking and sharing stories is important.
I have a lot of friends throughout high school that have passed away, different events that have happened to me personally throughout first year university or boarding school. So I think it's just me recognising that I'm fortunate enough to be strong through that, so why not be strong for other people as well.
Yellow is the international colour of suicide awareness and prevention, and Corinda Taylor loved seeing a wave of yellow umbrellas and high-vis jackets coming along George Street. Saturday's Hope Walk was the organisation's last major event for the year, but she says people at the centre are there if people need to talk.
Yeah, so there's this myth out there that talking about suicide is going to cause it. However, if you talk about it in a safe way, you give people an opportunity to open up about their own struggles, and by talking about their own struggles, we can identify that they are in trouble and we can reach out and support them better.
Life Matters runs Safe Talk workshops so people can help others around them. Griffiths says Life Matters at the Hope Centre in Albion Place can be there as an ear to encourage people to talk further.
I was aware that I could go and see a psychiatrist or something. That wasn't ever an idea. So I think you literally just have to be talking about all the numbers that you can text and things like that. And then even if people don't want to use those, they're going, oh well, what does that service do? Can I find something similar to what that service does, but what I want?
If you need help or think someone you know needs help, these are some of the agencies available to help. But if it's an emergency, dial 111. In Dunedin, the South Today.
2 people have been arrested in Cromwell as part of an ongoing focus targeting methamphetamine dealers in the Otago Lakes area. 2 men, aged 19 and 26 years old, are due to appear in the Queenstown District Court charged with supplying methamphetamine. Police say these arrests demonstrate the police's commitment to protecting the community from a serious harm caused by organised crime and methamphetamine. They say the wider community and local businesses feel the impact from the Class A drug being in the area. Crowds filled a Dunedin school hall over the weekend to admire examples of rocks and minerals from all over the world. The National Gem and Mineral Show at Kaikorai Valley College bustled with people keen to take in everything from pounamu to rhodonite.
Young and old enjoying the displays of natural beauty at Kaikorai Valley College over the weekend. The National Gem and Mineral Show is held in a different centre each year, and last weekend saw the event back in Dunedin, being hosted by the Otago Rock and Mineral Club for the first time since 2011. Club President Les Gibson says Otago is a good source of interesting rock specimens.
There's a nice area of rhodonite, which is a pretty pink coloured rock. There's also calcites and aragonites, also highlight opal. So there's quite a lot of varieties.
The club manned an educational table to help inform fossickers about what they might find, and the event also catered for those who wanted to buy or just admire the rocks on display.
We have a lot of sales tables, so you can purchase any of your favourite gems or have a look at what you want to purchase. We also have a competition section where people have entered their favourite gems and minerals.
Gibson says there's a lot waiting to be discovered in the dirt beneath us.
You know, we're part of the earth, and we've got some fabulous rocks and minerals and also geology information under our feet, and people tend to just walk over it and don't think too much of it, but you know, it's an exciting sort of hobby.
Anyone wanting to learn more about minerals and gemstones is encouraged to contact the Otago Rock and Mineral Club. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. Modern conveniences are set to finally come to a Dunedin boating club, and we catch up with 4 recently elected mayors from across the southern region. See you after the break.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
reason every season we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
The Ravensbourne Boating Club could soon have working toilets and showers after a long wastewater dispute. For more than 7 years, the club on the shores of Otago Harbour has tried to install a sewage system. However, uncertainty over ownership of the land meant it couldn't even apply to connect to wastewater. The Dunedin City Council has been providing a portable toilet for the club during summer. The council is now negotiating with the club about a lease, which means it will be able to connect to wastewater. When the lease is confirmed, the club will fundraise and apply for grants to raise the $35,000 for a wastewater system. Saturday's local body elections saw all current mayors in Otago and Southland voted back in to serve another term. 4 of the re-elected mayors we spoke to say they have important issues to address in their town or region.
Central Otago District has voted Tim Cadogan back in for his second term. The Mayor says affordable housing is a major issue for the region.
We have a low-wage economy in Central Otago and we have high house prices, and that affects the whole spectrum. So people who are struggling to keep their rental properties getting sold to Airbnbs, or indeed employers struggling to find staff because people can't afford to live here. It is a really big social issue, as shown in the Southern District Health Board report that came out last month.
Jim Bolt is elected back for his second term at Queenstown Lakes District. The upcoming 3 years will see him battling issues regarding airport expansions and visitor levies for tourists.
We've achieved a lot in the last 3 years. Some I'd mark as ticked off, some I'd say half done, others we've yet to start. So list will include addressing airport issues, addressing environmental issues, growth, which we've got to look at, and of course completing the work to put the bed tax in place.
Southland District has voted Gary Tong back as mayor for a third time. Although he says this third term will be his last, he's looking forward to helping build the community.
To look at the localism concept that we have, looking after our communities, empowering our communities to get up and get things done and work with them to achieve their projects.
After a tough and fractious campaign, Invercargill has voted Tim Shadbolt back in for his 9th term. He says looking after the local zero fees polytech is the most important task ahead.
Well, I think in the immediate future, it's definitely the future of SOT. That has done so much for the city and making it a much more energised and exciting place to live and work. And we have to hang on to that success as much as we can. I know the government's stronger than us, but we are good fighters when it comes to preserving our place in this country.
With the addition of his 2 terms as Mayor of Waitemata City in the 1980s, the 72-year-old Shadbolt is now a New Zealand record holder in regard to the 11 times he's served as Mayor.
when I was a humble concrete contractor. It never crossed my mind that I'd be the longest serving mayor in the history of Invercargill, the longest serving mayor in the history of New Zealand, and the longest serving mayor in this country. So he's still in office.
In Southland and Otago, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, wool handlers fight to be the best wool handlers in the region, and we look at the weather heading into the middle of the week. See you soon.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Miller's Flat Bakery, proudly opening this Labour weekend after a long labour of love. The Restoration Trust has brought back to life this historic part of the main Central Otago transport route. Come see the only wood-fired bakery oven in New Zealand. Turn off at the Miller's Flat Blue Bridge and bring the whole family to enjoy some tasty fresh baked goods the old-fashioned way, before electricity. That's the Miller's Flat Bakery opening Labour weekend.
Thanks for staying with us. Last Friday saw wool handlers competing at the Waimati Spring Shears event, drawing both pros and amateurs from around the region. Judge Amber Cassidy says the best of the competitors had judges struggling to find fault with their wool handling technique.
Waimati's Spring Shears last week saw 2 days of heats in both shearing and wool handling categories. Wool handling judge Amber Cassidy says a low score is a good thing, as all the points given by the judges are penalty points for faults such as mixing up different types of wool which come from different parts of the sheep's body.
So we're looking for contamination. The competitors are to keep the contamination away from the fleece wool, which is the shorter wool, the things off the top notch that comes off the top, that's a different fibre. So it doesn't take to the dye like the fleece wool does, and they need to keep it all separate.
Wool handling techniques haven't changed much in the last 100 years, and the less experienced competitors racked up far more penalty points than the experts.
Some of them were in the 70s, but then some of them were in the 40s. So the higher the points, the worse they've done. The lower the points, the better they've done.
When it comes to expert wool handlers, Casserly says it's a challenge for the judges to give out any penalty points at all.
So these girls are just learning, whereas in the Open, we've got master wool handlers. We struggle to find points on them. You've really got to look.
The event attracted around 30 entries, down from the 50 which organisers had been hoping for. In Waimati, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. A quartet of 100-year-old cars has departed Dunedin and is taking the long way to Timaru as part of a vintage car rally. Wet weather didn't deter several hundred Dunedinites from marching in the central city, making a statement about suicide. And crowds filled a school hall at the weekend to examine rocks and minerals from all over the world as a national show visits Dunedin. And now I'll look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We have Craig Page with us this evening. Kia ora, Craig.
Good evening. We've got an interesting story with concerns about the number of gang members and gang prospects in Otago and Southland on the increase. Something like 60% increase in less than 2 years. October 2017, 134 patch members. By the end of August this year, that's risen to 217.
Wow.
Yeah, big numbers. Police say that deported Australian criminals are being blamed for the increase. They're also bringing, obviously, a drug culture, but new sophisticated crimes to the area as well. So, real concerns. Mongrel mob remains the most popular, if that's the word, the phrase to use, gang in Dunedin. But there's also Black Power and King Cobras making them places known as well. There's also concern that gang members being sentenced to time at Melbourne prison are bringing family members south and then making this area their home. So police on top of it, and well, they're not. They're trying to get on top of it, and obviously want to keep that crime level down. We've got a sneak peek at what the new Dunedin Hospital might like. There were some design images included in a Southern District Health Board newsletter, which we've managed to get a hold of. Ministry of Health very quick to say that it isn't confirmed and things could change significantly, but yeah, it looks good and will be certainly a talking point in the community there. Sad sentencing today of in Invercargill of DJ Kane, driving the vehicle that crashed and killed local nurse and mother of two, Emma Bagley, late last year. Really horrific crash. He was sentenced to 4 years and 8 months. Drunk at the time, speeding, and went through a red light. So it's been pretty horrific. We've got some emotional scenes from the court today down there, and talked to family members as well of Emma. So yeah, well worth a read, that story. And on our fresh pages, talked to Central Otago knife maker Peter Lorimer. He started a career in IT, but has turned into knife making, making kitchen knives, which is now used by some of the country's top chefs, and also got a bit of an overseas following as well. So yeah, another good story. That's
Very
us.
good.
Thank you.
And now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, a bus pulls up to the lights at the bus hub. Looking at the situation, a front and weak trough of low pressure are approaching the southern districts. The trough will deepen tomorrow and Thursday, bring some rain and colder southerly winds to the region. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport see potential for cloud and 17 degrees. Across to the northeast, where Nelson and Blenheim are due for cloudy skies, showers and 19 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, expect cloudy skies across this area with showers or rain for most. Kaikoura and Ashburton are both looking at 13 degrees, with Christchurch one higher on 14. looking at what's in store for the southern towns, you can all expect light northwesterlies and cloud increasing. The Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore are all due to reach 14 degrees, but Lumsden and Gore should both expect late rain. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes region, you can plan for light winds and it's cloudy. Wanaka and Queenstown, you're heading for 15. Alexandra, you're due for 16. Tiano, you're set for late rain tomorrow, heading for 14 degrees. Up to the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru can expect fresh, moderate northeasterlies and grey skies. Timaru heads for 12, Oamaru, your high should be 13. It should also be cloudy inland with Twizel and Amarama looking at light winds with 14 degrees. In Dunedin, fine tonight with some cloud and northerly breezes with an overnight low of 6 degrees. Mostly cloudy and cold tomorrow with light to moderate northeast winds, planned for a high of 13 and a low of 9. Overcast on Thursday with light rain from mid-morning and light winds tending southerly, looking at a high of 11 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill, fine and cool tonight with an overnight low of 7. Cloud increasing during the morning tomorrow and some rain developing late afternoon or evening. Moderate northwesterly winds, a high of 14 and a low of 8. Cloudy on Thursday with periods of rain, colder southeasterlies developing, a high of 10 and a low of 7. That's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.